Our next speaker is from Fireworks, and LLMs are really popular. They've been really popular for the last few years, but they're still really tough to use in practical ways. And Fireworks AI is building innovative tools to help improve access to LLMs and expand their usage. Today, we'll hear from Aravind Putrevu, who is a developer advocate with a track record of working on many innovative tools. And he will be talking to us about Fireworks' recent development of providing effective function calling LLMs. All right, Aravind, take it away.
Hello, and a quick mic check. I hope I'm audible, but otherwise, of course, like thanks for yeah, great. Thanks for the opportunity. I'll quickly get started. I hope I want to specifically make sure that each one of us take something back from the session, and and don't want to take more time talking about a lot of slides. So I just have very minimal slides. Maybe if you could bring that up. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, I think building workflows with function calling is the topic today. And specifically, I'm very interested in function calling because you could build a lot of useful productive things that otherwise impossible and takes a lot of time in your daily life, and that too with all great, say the large language models. So, and also like however, like if you could fuse two interesting aspects like the function calling LLMs and then also like open source or like open weights, I think that gets more exciting for the community. So at Fireworks, we're always thinking about how we could potentially help people, help developers and more of that stuff. I work in the developer relations team, and then like work with the community, and if you have more questions, always happy to help. But otherwise, here is the talk more about the function calling and more details. So we recently launched a function calling model or model open weight GPT-4 quality model. This beats on several metrics. I'm not going to delve deeper on the benchmarks and explain more about how it is different, etc. But then I'll talk more about uh, I mean, like in general, like how we were like really doing well on the community side, because I think community has adopted it really well. And say few quick slides, like say there is a while we released a base model and on Hugging Face with open weights, etc. And there are a ton of people who were like kind of making a GGUF out of it, and then like this is like in the last 1 week we launched last week, and then there are a ton of downloads, ton of people doing great work. So super excited about what people could do. And then I'll also try to showcase two demos and see if it is possible, maybe for easier consumption, etc. So first of all, what is function or tool calling? If you are probably not new to LLMs, but then tool calling is not what many people would try at the first go, like maybe trying to build a chatbot or a RAG. But then I think RAG plus tool calling is also very powerful, in my opinion. And then say more about functions or tools. Like say for example, it gives the model the ability to go and retrieve something from external services. And we all know that we have built or we've been building a lot of a lot of microservices in the past, just like 2 3 years back, like microservices. And there's a big war between microservices and monoliths, and there are a lot of people building services on Kubernetes kind of platforms, right? I think more specifically, function calling is in stepping in that direction, wherein you could integrate your legacy services into your LLM workflows and make it more exciting. And then it can also be used in agentic workflows, which is like the place where we are eventually going, which is like the workflows. So tool calling is an essential thing. Like say for example, if you want to plot the stock price of Nvidia over the last 3 years or something, you could all do that. And this is how it looks like. The tool calls are like function calls that are generated, and this is not like the code, but then the arguments are generated out of your prompt, and then it eventually like takes up a call, and then eventually gets retrieves the real-time value by calling that specific API with whatever you have registered. Similarly, a parallel call. What is a parallel tool call? Wherein if you want to retrieve two specific or make two API calls, then that's where I think you could do. You will have to. I mean, the LLM has to generate this. Uh, arguments or parameters for those two API calls, and retrieving that or making sure that LLM learns or understands that is very important. So this is like how parallel code would look like. There's another level which is also really cool called nested calls, wherein you want to retrieve two real time information from two different services or even one services, but also like parallelly do some sort of plotting and some sort of like you're trying to multiply things, overlay over one over other. So there's like more nested calls as well. So the complexity would increase as and when you try to like drive up the number of tool calls, like different tools, different services, obviously, right? Because there are beyond just like simply calling and getting the data. There are more things like resiliency, there are more things like handling errors, there are more things like in even generating the arguments, which is also like simplified. It looks very simple for human mind, but then like for LLM to understand and then like generate something really valuable, it's something really difficult. And then that's where the progress is being made as well. So also, like, what is multi-turn chat? Like, I think there are very few models that I have seen also like does multi-turn chat and function calling. In fact, my dream world would be building something that is like a fine-tuned model with a RAG and does function calling, right? Wherein you have a huge corpus of data that is vectorized and then readily available to retrieval over a fine-tuned model that is very domain-specific, say healthcare. And then eventually you would want to build something that is more exciting with the function calling, like connecting to other systems, other RAG systems. Again, we are talking about agentic AI, etc. So in the similar course, I think like when you do fine tune for function calling, a lot many models lose out the regular knowledge capabilities, which is like, say, if it's saying like what's in the news today, and then you call the CNN API or something, and then you get the bunch of business news. But then also like uh, and then you kind of like want to get a history of Nvidia, like which is not there in the description, but then the model should be able to chat with you while retrieving relevant information. So that's something that you would probably see in some of these Perplexity and bunch of other players. Like you could also build more of this by the model itself, and that's what we are trying to do with tool calling itself, like preserving the base model capabilities, which I briefly talked about, like making sure that the model has some sort of chat capabilities retained, and then so that you have diversity in terms of like when you're trying to fine tune. I think it's also very important that you do it. So I'll quickly get to the demo, and also like want to just quickly talk to you all about we are doing a campfire connect event wherein we want to talk more about these systems, and we want to talk more about features and how you would do probably build large scale production quality LLM systems. So it's coming very soon in a couple of weeks. I just want to put that QR code here as well. But otherwise, like I have a demo and then I want to show it. This is like a specific demo which is more targeted or looked at like the whatever I'm explaining, and another one is like a demo that I built over multiple APIs that I could show. Let's see if we could quickly showcase that. Okay, I'm gonna see if I could. Okay, I hope you're able to see the screen. So specifically, this is like a simple function calling capability demo playground. I hope it is not too small, but otherwise I'll minimize it so for better capabilities. Yeah, I think it's easy. So say for example, if I want to check the stock price of ESTC, because I think why stock price, because we have available functions which are more stock specific, generate an image, render chat, and stock code and etc. More of that sort of stuff. um, I'll also like give more details about maybe in the Discord, like about the model, the documentation, how you could probably use it, and a lot of that sort of stuff. um, uh, that way I think we'll try. I think I'm randomly typing while I'm talking about it, so we'll see how it really works. ESTC is Elasticsearch, so just typed it like uh, so let's see the all favorite Nvidia, and then probably it gets the Nvidia. Plot it over a chart for 3 years. I even did not try some of this, so let us see what happens if I do it. Oh, looks like it does. Okay, so it still doesn't do the. It only retains the previous context. If okay, there you go. So it doesn't do everything on different manner. Like let me try to regenerate. So this is like a simple function calling demo, wherein you could ask multiple you could work with multiple tools and get more details. But then I also have another call where, I mean, another app that I could showcase to you, more of a code specific one that I could also share the code with you all, so that, like, you're also aware of how this would really look like in code when you try to use it. Let me share my screen as well. So hopefully you're able to see the screen. Let me check. Yeah, cool. So I have like two folders here. One is like functions, which is like a Python module, and then like UI, which is built in Astro. Not so much special there, but then it's like I'm using step API, which is a very good place to find out like a lot of APIs, public APIs like YouTube search, Google search, etc. And then like I'm using fast API, popular REST API framework for Python. And then Pydantic, everyone knows it, like no need to give special explanation about it. So bunch of stuff, like basic. And then I'm registering the tools here. Like one is like a genre generator, like if I want to find out what genre, like I want to see flight detail generator. I have a bunch of tools that are generated here. Like say for example, if I want to watch, say, movies from action, adventure, and animation, classic, a bunch of genres, and then I kind of like ask, can you generate some recommendations or from YouTube about that, or Netflix about that. I did not have a Netflix API, so I'm just using the YouTube API through the step. And then I have the chat API here, and then I kind of like have the you know a bunch of parameters updated, and like it is being given as a JSON response to the UI, and the UI picks it up and runs it. So in the interest of time, I'm just rushing through, but otherwise, like you start this one on the Python module, and then you start this one on the the Node.js, and you know and then quickly you could showcase this one. Let me try to share the screen again. Okay. I'm nearly done, so that we have. Oh, good. Okay, so I think something is wrong here, but otherwise, like the idea here is to showcase whatever, like the when you do a tool call, how does it respond, and then how it like really looks like. So I'm sorry. I think maybe just give me a moment. Yeah, I think I'm typing the wrong. Uh, yeah, and if I want to watch, like say comedy, and then it should be retrieve me based on the latencies and stuff like that, what are the movies that I do. I could do also more. And then yeah, I think like I'll share the more details about the code and the model and everything. So looking forward to hear other talks, and hear more about media gen AI zoo. And thank you, Yuan, and like other folks for this talk and the opportunity.
Yeah, thanks for giving us such a great rundown of LLMs, function calling, and RAG, Aravind.